Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today it is my favorite day of the month. I am picking my December TBR from my little TBR jar right here. I love this part of the month so much. I love picking out my books. I just feel like it makes it so special, and even if I don't get to all of them, it's still motivation to encourage me to try to get through all of them and to just have fun while reading, and I like that a lot. So for December 2024, I will be pulling 6 prompts. I tend to pull 6 every month now because I like having 6 books to choose from. I'm not necessarily going to read all of them though. So if there's a book that I'm talking about and you really want to see me read it, you really want to hear my thoughts about it, then please let me know in the comments below so that I can make it a priority and actually read it. Because I would say, I don't know, maybe I only get to 50%, give or take. I'd say I get to 100% eventually, but it might be like 2, 3, 4 months down the line. And so if you want to see it soon, then let me know and I'll try to read that one first. I do have one book though that I absolutely will fit into this TBR no matter what. I don't care how, but one of these prompts is going to be Spectacular by Stephanie Garber. That is her novella, I believe. I think it's actually quite short. I'll put on the screen how many pages it is. And it's basically like the aftermath of the Caraval series, just how they're getting on with their lives after the dust has settled, so to speak. And it is Winter Wonderland themed. It is absolutely them getting ready for Christmas and celebrating Christmas, and there's snow everywhere. And so it is sounding to me very cheesy and dramatic and cliched kind of. However, I will make an exception because I just really like the Caraval series and I'm very attached to these characters and I really want to just read anything about them, and I don't know, I'm excited to get back into the world. So that is absolutely going to be one of the books I choose. I'll fit it in somewhere, but I will just get right into it. I always like to pull from the very bottom. I just feel like that's where the juicy ones are. There's 2 right here that I just pulled out, so 4 more. 1, that's number 3, and this will be 4. This one will be 5, and this one will be number 6. Also, real quick before I read out my prompts, I have in the description below a link to my Etsy shop actually, where I wrote down all of these prompts. I have, I believe, 77 in here or something. And I added a whole bunch more, and there's 364 total. That's just how the math worked out. I am sorry. I wish it was 365, one for every day. But also, who's reading a book every single day? That's wild. If you are, please let me know in the comments below. I would like to meet you. However, the thing that I have linked below is 364 prompts that you can purchase if you want, and then you can just print it out and you can make your own jar. And then you have basically an unlimited amount of prompts that's definitely going to last you an entire year. I should hope, maybe more. If you're reading like me, it's probably going to last you 2 or 3 years, honestly. So if you want to check it out, check the link in the description below. So to read what I have now, this one is a 5-star prediction. So, oh my gosh, he's so cute. So a 5-star prediction is a book that I think is going to be 5 stars for me, which honestly, most of the books I put on my TBR, I think are going to be 5 stars for me. That's why I put them on my TBR. I'm very picky about what I put. You would not believe that because I literally have over 900 books on my TBR, but I am actually very picky. I don't put any books on there that are lower than like 3.6 or 7 stars on Goodreads usually. This one is a reread. This is a pretty good one. This could be a lot of different things actually. This one is a book by an author sharing my name. I initially wrote this with a last name in mind. However, my last name by birth is very uncommon and I don't think anyone would have that. And then my last name by marriage is even worse. It's a German last name and it's like one of the most uncommon ones. I think I'm just gonna have to go with my first name or my middle name. My first name is actually Rebecca and my middle name is Ray, hence the channel name Ray's Reads. So I think I'm gonna look for either Rebecca or for Ray. And then this one just says pirates. You can see that for me is the perfect prompt. I will always read about pirates. I go ham for pirate books. And then this one is a book from the 2000s. Okay. And this one is a book with a question in the title. Okay. All right, so those are all of them. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how I'm gonna fit Spectacular in here because it doesn't have a question in the title. It's not about pirates. I don't think so. I can look it up and just double check, but I really don't think so. Stephanie Garber, does not share my name in any way, shape, or form. No last name, middle name, or first name. A book from the 2000s. It's from this year, 2024, so I don't think that's going to count because 2000s to me is specifically 2000 to 2010 maximum. A 5-star prediction, honestly, I don't think it's going to be 5 stars. I think I'm going to enjoy it, but I don't think it's going to be 5 stars. I think it's probably going to be maybe 4 stars, maybe less. I'm just not the biggest Winter Wonderland fan. And a reread, I've not read it, so it would not be a reread. So honestly, I guess I'm just going to add Spectacular and just have 7 books on my TBR this month because it does not fit in these. I cannot make it work, but I do want to read it and I want it to be on my TBR. So I'm just going to add it. So now to look through those, I have my laptop right here. Okay, so I have 919 books on my TBR right now, which is a lot. The most recent one that I added actually is Soulgazer by Maggie Rapier. I don't know if that's how you pronounce her last name. I apologize. However, that is about pirates, but it's not out yet. It's coming out next year. I'm so upset. I want to read it so bad. So obviously that's not going to work. Within these books, I'm just going to search for pirate and just see what comes up. Anything with pirate in the name. So I have a lot of books that I've already read. I have a book where pirate is in the author's name, but it's not about pirates. Then I have some nonfiction books about pirates. I'm not really seeing anything in here I'm super crazy about. I think I might just have to manually go through my books and see what I can find. I'm going to search Rebecca, my first name, and see if I can find anything. Yes, Rebecca Yarros. I honestly don't want to read any books from her though. Oh, a book from Rebecca Roanhorse. This I have really wanted to read. Also Rebecca Ross. There are 3 books from her that I would love to read. However, I really want to read this one from Rebecca Roanhorse. And also I believe that Native American Heritage Month is November, right? And so it's a little bit late. However, Rebecca Roanhorse was born to a Native American mother and she was adopted, but she reconnected with her mother and her indigenous roots, and her books are like very heavily inspired by that, and they feature a lot of Navajo characters specifically. And the book that I want to read really bad is Between Earth and Sky, book number 1, Black Sun. And I am super excited that I could fit this onto my list. I totally forgot. I've had this book in the back of my mind for forever, and I forgot that her name is Rebecca. So that is what I will pick then for somebody sharing my name. I'm not even going to look at any of my other names because I just really want to read this book. A book with a question in the title. I'm going to search in my TBR for a question mark. I don't know if that's going to work. It did, but there's only a single book, and it's The Purpose-Driven Life, What on Earth Am I Here For by Rick Warren. I've already read that, and I don't want to read it now. I think I'm going to have to go to Google to figure that one out. So I will look at that one later. I just want to knock out some easy ones first. A reread is going to be pretty easy. I will just look at the books that I've already read, and I think I'll go back maybe to last year and see what I read and what I'm interested in rereading. I have a few in my mind that I absolutely would love to reread soon, but the question is just which one? There's one book that applies to 2 prompts, but I think I'm gonna have it just be for the reread. So I'm going to reread, because I've really been wanting to reread it for a really long time, Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller. It's such a quick, easy book. It says it's 308 pages, but honestly, it feels like it's 100 pages. It's very quick and easy, and I just think it's fun. I just like the romance in this book a lot, and I like the plot and everything. I think the series for me personally goes down a little bit after the first book, so I think I might just reread this first book and then stop there. But I think I'm definitely gonna give that one a go for that prompt. And then a 5-star prediction. That honestly could be so many different things. I am thinking of a specific book though. So the one that I was thinking of that would be 5 stars for me would be A Song to Drown Rivers by Anne Liang. But I see that it's rated 3.95 stars right now. And the last time I looked at it, it was like 4.5 or so. And I think now that it's officially published, it published October 1st, and more people are reading it and talking about it, the rating has gone down a little bit. And that kind of worries me because people were raving about it so much before it came out, like the people who got the ARC for it, so the advanced reader's copy. And so I really had high expectations, but now that I see a lot of people who did not get ARCs are rating it and they're not rating it as highly, I see a lot of 3s in here, like a lot of 3s. Wow. This review is harsh. What a sloppy and ultimately forgettable rendition of the famous fable this turned out to be. This person said 2 stars. I was very generous with this rating. So that makes me really nervous. There's another book though that has like literally 30 times as many ratings, and it's 4.62 stars. And I also keep hearing about this one, and I hear about how amazing it is literally all the time. And I know for a fact it's not available at my library because I've searched. However, I am so confident that I think I would give this 5 stars that I would consider buying it on my Kindle or even buying a physical copy of it. And that's The Will of the Many, Hierarchy, book number 1 by James Islington. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And that, like I said, 4.62 stars and 65,000 ratings. And I've heard from a lot of people that it's got a little bit of the Hunger Games vibe to it, but more adult, not so cliched and young. And it is categorized as an adult book, not a young adult book. And I just keep hearing how amazing it is. It is 639 pages, which is honestly a lot, but I really think that it's going to be a 5-star read for me, and I'm very confident. So I'm going to use that for that prompt. And then we just have 2 more, book with a question in the title and pirates. I think I'm just going to have to go to Google for that because I don't want to spend the next 20 minutes looking through my TBR desperately trying to find something. I would rather just go to Google and really quickly scan and see if anything is on my TBR. So starting off, titles with a question mark. I also really like on Google that they have Goodreads lists. I know that you can just search on Goodreads for that, but honestly, I really don't like the search feature on Goodreads for looking for lists. I feel like it's clunky and it's complicated, and I would much rather just go to Google, search a phrase, and then have it spit out the absolutely perfect Goodreads list for me and exactly what I'm looking for, and that's exactly what Google did. I have Listopia on Goodreads, titles with a question mark. And why I love looking on Goodreads list so much is because it's got always a green box next to the title if you want to add it to your list. But if you've already added it to your list, then it's grayed out. And so I can really quickly just scroll through and see if there's anything that's gray. And honestly, I am not seeing a single thing. I'm seeing a lot of Dr. Seuss in here, honestly. There's Oh Can You Say and Would You Rather Be a Bullfrog? Also Terry Pratchett, Where's My Cow? Where's My Teddy? Jen's Alborough. What Was I Scared Of? Dr. Seuss. I'm not seeing a single thing. I've scrolled all the way down to 100 and there's nothing on my list. That is really unfortunate. Brown Bear, What Do You See by Bill Martin Jr. That was one of my favorite books when I was a kid. But I'm looking for a novel, something that I can read for more than 5 minutes. I think I'm gonna have to go back to Google and see if there's anything that I can find there. Here's a book, Why Do Men Have Nipples by Mark Lehner. If Life is a Bowl of Cherries, What Am I Doing in the Pits by Irma Bombeck. Here's a book that I have actually on my TBR. Is That a Fish in Your Ear by David Bellos. That is a book that has to do with linguistics. And it's basically about translation and the meaning of everything. That's the subtitle for it. And it's kind of like stylistic choices in language and symbols and whatnot. I'm not sure if I want to read that. I might just end up going with it. I have searched and searched and searched. I'm like 5 pages deep in this list. The sun is going down. And I can't find anything with a question mark in it other than the book that I mentioned, Is That a Fish in Your Ear? And honestly, I don't really want to read that in December. I do want to read it in general, but I don't know, it's really not giving me December vibes in the slightest, but I can't find anything else. So that is just gonna have to be what I'm going with this. And then for the book about pirates, I am also going to just go to Google, see if I can find any lists on Goodreads. I know right off the bat, there's a book that I really, really, really want to read that has a little bit of a pirate kind of theme to it, and the series does not. And this is the second book, which is unfortunate. Otherwise, I would immediately pick the first book, but the first book has nothing to do with pirates, and it's the Gentleman Thief series by Scott Lynch, and the second book is Red Skies Under Red Shores. And I have wanted to read it so bad for so long, and I actually found all 3 of the books at a used English bookstore a while ago. I posted a vlog on my channel where I got the books, and I also got The Witcher, and all of them were super cheap, like 6 or 7 euros, and they were basically all brand new, The Witcher book and the Gentleman series books. And I would love to read that second book, but unfortunately, as I mentioned, it's the second book in the series, not the first, and the first has absolutely nothing to do with pirates. So maybe I should just put the second book on my TBR and also kind of have like a sub note of reading the first one before I read the second one, so that theoretically both of them are on my TBR. I honestly think I'm gonna do that because that is the #1 book about pirates that is just coming to my head right now, and I just want to read it so bad, and I own all 3 of the books, so I could easily read the first one and the second one. It's a lot to read, especially if I'm also going to read The Will of the Many, which is 639 pages, but I think that's what I'm going to go with, actually, because I really want to read it. I just realized I totally forgot a book from the 2000s. I don't know what I was thinking, and so now I have to find that also. I am just really quickly going to find something because truly the sun is going down and there is like no more light at all. So I'm going on Goodreads to my TBR list, and I am organizing it by the date that the book was published. Okay, so 2000 for me starts with The Legend of Luna, the story of a tree, a woman, and the struggle to save the redwoods. That was published just in 2000. It doesn't have a date. And now I've got a ton to choose from. I honestly have not even gone down this list that much, but I think I already found something that I would like to read. So I think I'm just going to go with that one and call it a day. And that is Bitten, the Otherworld series, book #1 by Kelly Armstrong. And I'm not really sure about this series if I want to continue reading it after the first book. I am just really uncertain because it jumps around a lot from person to person and character to character, and I really don't like series that do that in general. However, this is what the TV show Bitten was based on, and I really, really like the TV show, and I really like the idea, and I would like to just give it a go and see how I like it, and then decide if maybe I want to read the rest of the books. But the first one is about Elena Michaels, who's the main character in the TV show, and the TV show basically only follows Elena Michaels, and I'm kind of also only really interested in Elena Michaels. So I'm just gonna give this book a go, like I said, and then see if I'm interested in reading about anyone who's not Elena Michaels in this world. We will see. But that is going to be the book for the 2000s because it was published September 21st, which is actually my birthday, September 21st, 2001. That's exciting. To summarize real quick, the little extra edition that I'm going to read that has nothing to do with any of the prompts I pulled is Spectacular by Stephanie Garber, because I just feel like it's very fitting for the season, and I am waiting in line at my library for it, actually, and I only have 3 weeks left, which is perfect timing. So I am super pumped. Then the book that I'm going to read with somebody who shares my name, I chose my first name, Rebecca, and by Rebecca Roanhorse, I'll be reading Black Sun, which is the Between Earth and Sky series, book number 1. And then a reread, I've decided to read Trisha Levenseller's Daughter of the Pirate King. That's Daughter of the Pirate King series, book number 1. I really liked it, and I've just been craving a really simple fantasy book about pirates, which also was another book on this list, but I'm craving it so much, I'm happy with 2 books on this list. And the one that I will be reading about pirates is Red Seas Under Red Skies. I definitely said it wrong earlier, and I apologize. I think I was thinking of Dark Shores by Danielle L. Jensen because I read that not too long ago, and then I was confusing that with this one. But it is definitely Red Seas Under Red Skies by Scott Lynch. Also with the caveat, the little like under subnote that I will be reading the first book because I have to read the first book in order to read the second book. And the first one is The Lies of Loch Lamora by Scott Lynch. Maybe you've heard of it. Maybe now you're kind of like, oh yeah, I know that series. Because I feel like the series title, which is the Gentleman Bastards series, which I also think I said the series name wrong earlier and I'm sorry. But that series name, I don't know. I think a lot of people probably don't know that too much, but I think a lot of people who are at least interested in fantasy, especially anything regarding pirates, they've probably heard of The Lies of Loch Lamora and then the second book. So those are the 2 for the pirate prompt. And then the prompt for a book with a question in the title, I will be reading Is That a Fish in Your Ear? Translation and the Meaning of Everything by David Bellos. And then lastly, a book that I think is going to be a 5-star read, my 5-star prediction for December, that is for sure The Will of the Many by James Islington. And it's the Hierarchy series, book number 1. I am so excited to read it. I just have to find it somewhere. Because like I said, it's not available at my library, but I know that the other ones are. And so I'll just start on those and then I'll get The Will of the Many somehow, some way, sometime in December. And then finally, I think I already said finally, and I'm sorry I forgot about this book, so I'm saying this after the fact. But actually finally is Bitten by Kelly Armstrong, and that's Otherworld book number 1. And that is the book that fulfills the prompt of a book written in the 2000s because it was written September 21st, my birthday, in 2001. So those are all of the books that I'm going to read in December. As mentioned, if there's a book that you want me to read more than any of the other books, please let me know in the comments below because I'm probably not going to get to all of these books. And I'm going to do my best, but just being realistic, I'm definitely not going to read all 6 of them. There's more than 6, actually. There's 8 because I have the 2 editions, the first book in the Gentleman Bastard series, and then also Spectacular by Stephanie Garber. So I'm just being honest, I'm not going to get to all 8 of these books in December. So like I said, if there's anything that you would like to see me read in particular, let me know in the comments below. I will try to prioritize it. Otherwise, I will just kind of jump around, take my sweet time with all these books, see what I feel like in the moment. And yeah, I hope that you also have a great TBR for December. And I hope that you have a great reading week in general and a great day today. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.